Okay.
Okay, so where am I at here?
Bring the Zoom up again.
Okay,
There you go.
okay. All right, so
Maybe downstairs.
how do I make this so? How do I make this bigger?
Um,
Click on it. There we
Yep.
go. Yeah. Okay, so we're on live on YouTube right now, right?
Correct.
Okay. One participant. It's me right now. Gotta get,
Hello. No, why was that? Yeah. All right, I'll talk to Vera. I mean, the house is paid for, you just gotta get there. I mean, if you don't, I don't know, like, the room might be two single beds if you don't care. I don't know exactly, like, there's bunk rooms and stuff, but I know you wouldn't wanna stay there, so. All right, no, for the what? All right, I'll ask her, but I doubt she'll let you pay anything, but I'll ask her. You mean the house we're staying in? I'll send you the link to the house we're staying in. All right. Bye.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, Bill.
Are you there?
Hello there. Can you hear me, Bill?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right. Okay.
I can't hear you, Fred. Say it again.
Paul, I think we were totally outcoached and unprepared compared to what Kansas City had for us.
Can't argue with I can't say you're wrong considering the outcome, but I don't think that they're that much better than us. I think when you have a Hall of Fame tight end and a Olympian speed wide receiver,
Yeah.
that Kelsey guy is just ridiculous. Everybody in the building knows he's getting the ball.
And that's exactly why we weren't prepared for that, despite everybody saying we got to stop Kelsey so he catches 13 or 14 passes. I don't know if that's excusable.
Yeah. It's that way with all the greats, though. Look at Gronkowski, man. Every game wasn't just the Bills. Every game when he was in his prime, everybody watching knew where the ball was going right to him, and he still got open, still got the first down.
Yeah. I think Josh was a little nervous too.
Could be.
He'll come back.
I know this. Mahomes is not going to win 3 in a row. No way. Not going to happen. He's going to win Sunday. It'll be 2 back-to-back. They're not winning next year. Not going to happen.
Well, Coach
Time will tell. We are live on YouTube, just so everybody knows.
All right.
Harmless
For the
talk.
record, Pat Mahomes isn't going to win 3 Super Bowls in a row.
I'll tell you right now who's going to win.
Not Brady.
The team with the most points.
Cop out.
John, you there?
I am, Bill.
Okay. Bob Ring, you with us?
Hey, everybody.
Linda's connecting to audio. Linda, can you hear us? Linda, can you hear me?
Linda.
That's just connecting to audio.
Can you hear me? Guess it's working.
Yes, Dave, I can hear you.
This is the easiest I signed on, so I figured something went wrong.
Well, I waited till today to send it out, so. Okay.
Get out of there.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Vernon. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Hi, Brian.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear us, Linda?
Yep, I'm all set.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, we got you. John Alessi, how are you?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi,
Hi,
John.
John.
How's everybody doing?
Good, and you?
Pretty good.
Just waiting for everybody else to sign on.
Okay.
I'm hoping Jeff Smith joins us here shortly.
He was scheduled to. I'll text him.
Have to do Kevin's resignation at the next. I'll be at the council meeting out here, so. Carrie, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Carrie. So who are we waiting for?
we are waiting for, it looks like Jason and Mr. Smith from Municipal Solutions. Is that?
I think you're right, Bill.
There's Jason.
Hey, Bill, it's Jason. Can you hear me?
Yes, Jason, I can hear you.
Okay.
I just spoke with Jeff. He said he's going to call in now.
Okay.
Got any snow yet up your way, John?
Oh yeah, it's starting to come down. It's been cloudy all day and just that light, fine snow. It's starting to get a little heavier though. What about you guys there?
We've got
Not
a half
bad.
a foot.
We're doing good. Got top-notch crews out on it here, so.
Absolutely.
Okay, Linda's in.
So Carrie, was that a dog I saw or a cat or?
I have two dogs. I just adopted a 17-year-old petite Griffin Vendine, and then I have a 1-year-old West Highland White Terrier.
Oh my goodness. You've got the spectrum there. So it,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yes, I've got the three boys, and we decided to get a puppy a couple months ago, and we haven't had a dog in the house in close to 10 years. She passed away, and then we had kids, and so it's been an adventure. I had forgotten just how much dogs and kids together
Yeah.
can be. It's all good, but it's I'm just waiting for the dog to bark or the kids to rumble in, and so
Yeah, thank goodness for the mute button.
yes.
I have Snoopy on my lap. He's a 17-year-old. This is him.
Oh, very cute.
And who you saw earlier was Normand. He's the rambunctious one. There he is. He always has to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, we can, we're just waiting on,
Jeff,
yeah. Are we going to do finance first, John, or you want to do strategic planning?
No, if our guests are here for finance, we might as well just jump into that. That's fine.
okay. Yeah, do you want to wait till Jeff gets here? He signs in?
No, I mean, I don't know. Is Jeff and John talking about two separate things?
We're talking about I think we're talking about the same thing. He does the financial side. I do the legal side of these capital projects.
Okay.
Okay.
So, John, do you want me to just start the finance committee and have John start with the legal side?
I mean, well, I guess it would be, I guess we don't know how long. Yeah, I mean, you might as well, Linda. Hopefully Jeff
Okay.
will jump on soon.
Okay, so I'll call the Committee of Finance to order on Tuesday, February 2nd. Let the record note that all members are present. I'll need approval of the previous committee meetings from Tuesday, May 5th.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I need a second.
I
I'll
Second.
second.
Seconded.
Okay. Okay. Unfinished business. I do believe we have none. New referrals for consideration. A is the discussion with Hodgkins and Ross and Municipal Solutions pertaining bans and bonds. So I'll turn this over to John since he's our legal side and Jeff's not here yet.
Hey, Linda, just real quick. I'm sorry, John. Did we get a vote just for the record?
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Okay, carried.
Thank you.
Sorry, John.
No, thank you.
Okay, so we'll turn it over to John. I think he
Sure.
is.
I'm happy to be here. John Alessi, Hodgson Rust, bond attorney. I have the pleasure of working with many of you in the past on your financings. What you have here in front of you that are scheduled for consideration at the upcoming meeting are 3 bond resolutions. They are the walkable Olean Phase 3 project, the Union Street Streetscape Capital Improvements Project, and the amending bond resolution for the Washington Street project. Thank you, Mr. Ring, for providing the details, the scope, and the Municipal Solutions and the city provided the dollar amount for these authorizations. Of course, any of these and all of these can be adjusted depending on what you feel is appropriate. And what we have here, these 3 resolutions do require the supermajority vote of the council, so they would require the 5 members voting in favor. and they authorize the issuance of bonds and notes in anticipation of those bonds. And I'm happy to go into greater detail with each of them if you would like. Mr. Crawford, if you've got specific questions, I can address them. I can talk more generally. I can talk for 2 hours. I can talk for 30 seconds. So it's
Well, it depends what you're building.
Turn left.
I think Jeff has joined us. Jeff, is that you?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Jeff, we just got started on our bonds and bans.
Oh, okay, great.
so I would just add additionally here, these bond resolutions are the cornerstone for your projects in terms of the financing for them. So once these are in place, you're able to work with Jeff Smith and his team to determine how much you want to borrow. Of course, working with Fred in terms of the cash flow and borrowing that which you need. And typically the city does at least one financing a year in which they try and consolidate the projects into a single financing. So from the legal side, we provide the legal opinion that is the basis for these obligations, and stating that they are in fact both federally tax exempt and state tax exempt. So that's the broad brush strokes.
Okay. John, did you have some questions?
I mean, not at this time. So what this, just for clarification's sake, so what we're focusing on is the passing of a ban resolution, or are we moving bans into bonds, just to help?
That's a great question. This bond resolution authorizes the issuance of long-term obligations and short-term obligations with the expectation or the anticipation that you may eventually get into long-term obligations. So this is the entire resolution. It authorizes the city auditor as the chief fiscal officer to go forward in consultation with the council for the financings. And so it's all right here, and authorizes the city auditor to execute those documents.
Okay. Jeff.
Have you received oh, I'm sorry, Linda, I cut you off.
No, I was just asking Jeff, at what rate of interest will we be going in?
Well, we're probably going to start out borrowing in anticipation of the grant funds, depending on the cash flow. And I expect you'll be borrowing at somewhere around a 0.7% or less.
Okay.
Long term right now, and we don't know what rates will be a year from now, but indications are the Federal Reserve is going to keep rates low for quite a number of years, probably at least another year to 2 years. And depending on how long we want to go out, 10-year stuff, we're borrowing at around 1% to 1.3% interest. 20-year stuff, easily under 2%, probably about a 1.79.
So
these are the best rates we've seen in over 65 years.
That's great.
So that actually is a good segue to my next question. And I don't know if it's anything like we're doing, with our private home with these municipal bonds or not, but is there an opportunity, or is it possible to refinance them at lower rates?
We have done that in the past for the city, but right now, none of the bonds are callable. That when we issue a long-term bond, there's an 8-year call provision put in them. So right now, we're not in a position to be able to call. Congress took away the ability to do advance refundings, so we can only do them as a current refunding So, we keep monitoring, but so far nothing is available at this moment.
Okay. Any other questions?
Jeff, this is Fred speaking. In the past, we've always gone the ban route because the bans were noticeably
Less expensive. Yep.
expensive. But what you're discussing is a bond rate of 1.7%. And I'm thinking we really should take a look at that because I don't think we'll see anything lower than that 2 or 3 years from now when we want to convert a ban into a bond. And I'll just ask the council to ponder going the bond rate as opposed to going to the band rate because of the, as you described, the lowest rate in 65 years. So I think that should give something for consideration for the council to think about.
Well, Fred, we don't want to bond until you know exactly what the amount of you need to borrow long-term is. So we'll want to work on that. And definitely, if we know for certain that there's an amount that you have to go to bond with, that is a very good idea.
Bob, can you maybe walk us through the scenario of the timing of when we might receive grant money and your needs and kind of from your perspective, when this money will be coming in?
Sure. A lot of the funding is the DRI grant from the Department of State. And I guess, Carrie, correct me if I'm wrong, we do quarterly reimbursement is available for that project. For the state funding, which is about 500,000 for walkable and phase 3. That's reimbursable monthly. I typically don't reimburse every month for those projects, but that money comes relatively quickly. These projects will probably wrap up at the end of this construction season, but I believe that we put in some time period to do project closeout into next year around this time, that we would expect these projects to close with the Department of State. And I think we could expect most, if not all, of our money to be reimbursed, about a year from now. And again, Carrie, correct me if I'm wrong or too optimistic there.
Well, I mean, we all know how long it could take with the Department of State. I did our first reimbursement request under the DRI. You can do it quarterly. You could do it every 6 months. We still haven't received it. We learned under the DRI process with the consultant that was assigned to us that some of the funds were held for a number of months before they issued it. Sometimes they wait until, you have a large lump sum.
Okay.
So we can definitely work with with the group and come up with a project timeline, and then when we think we'll get the grant funds, and then how soon we'll know what the long-term obligation is, and lock into a long-term bond. So, but we never know for certain, but I don't see rates increasing tremendously before next year.
Okay. So as far as tonight's meeting, what we need to do is just go forward and think about what we want to do. It sounds, that the rate is obviously very conducive for what our community can afford. Would we be going, how many years would we be going out?
What are the project live, Bob? Like Washington Street is what, maybe 20 years. I don't know how they vary. Walkable, maybe 15.
In the bond resolutions you're going to be adopting this evening, the period of probable usefulness is specified for each one of those objects. So that's your maximum period. And then we can work with Fred of how long do we really want to go out.
Okay.
And I can speak to that. The two streetscape or the walkable project are both 15 years, and your water project is 37 years or so. That is the maximum period of time that you could go out. So there are no communities in your position that really go out for that long, but the law does provide for quite a lengthy period of time for that. So you've got great flexibility, and normally the period of probable usefulness does not limit, as in the case here with water, how long you really want to finance. It's really dependent upon the market and what kind of interest rate and how long the city wants to pay that off, paying interest over that lifetime.
Okay, any questions?
Do we have a total dollar value? And I apologize, has that resolution been put together? Because I'm looking through my email. I don't see it. We're talking about a resolution, but I don't have it.
Yeah, I thought tonight was just a discussion about it, that we weren't voting on anything, because you're right, I don't see a resolution either.
That's right. They are scheduled for adoption or consideration on February 9th.
Okay.
And they were sent over. They were sent over today, and the $3 amounts are for the walkable Olean Phase 3. I can give you the exact dollar amounts of $2,049,372. That was $2,049,372. The North Union Streetscape project is at $920,000. And the Washington Street project has these bond resolutions have two components. They have your estimated project cost and then the amount that you're authorizing in obligations. So the Washington Street project has an estimated maximum cost of $1,947,000. And this amending resolution does not increase beyond what was originally authorized of in bonds of $1,350,000. Now, these are the maximum amounts that you can borrow. You certainly don't need to borrow everything.
Okay. So Fred, our next step is to get a copy of that resolution, read it over. If we have any questions, you can point us in the right direction. We've already checked into the interest rate. And at that time, we'll know the length of time we're going out, whether it's 10 years for the one and longer for the Washington Street. So I guess for tonight, we don't have to vote on anything. We just have to move this to the 9th.
I'm guessing you want a verbal authorization to proceed?
I would think so, yes. And we'll get the information out to you tomorrow. It came in today, and Tiffany wasn't in this morning, so we'll get things out to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you mind if I add one thing real quick? Just to clarify, our city matching funds, at least projected, are $165,874 for East State Street. Those are our matching funds for the DOT grant. that's a 80-20 grant. The DRI grant is 100% funded, and we rolled $20,000 of cost into paying for the services and municipal solutions and Hudson Russ. And then the North Union Street project is not, the 900,000 of that is reimbursable. The city cost for the project is 20,000 again in admin costs. And then, like John had said, we've already borrowed for the Washington Street project for 1.3 million. Our total project cost is 1.9, but we're not asking to borrow that additional money or even that amount. We need that bond resolution to pass grant funding. So we'll be reimbursed for 911,000 of the, we'll be spending upwards of 1.9 million with 900,000 coming back, which will pay off even a portion of our original ban of 1.35.
Thanks for explaining that, Bob.
Yeah, Bob, I'd like to get together with you over the next day or so and kind of lay this out and make sure that we're all on the same page.
All right, Fred.
And to go off of that, Fred and Bob, I think it would be very helpful for the members of the council going into that resolution to know, obviously, the dollar values that we're talking about in the ban, and then the proportion of that that's being reimbursed, like you're saying, Bob. I'm jotting a lot of this down, but I think for the public's sake, I think for our sake, it would just be helpful. We know we're getting that reimbursed, because my understanding is, right, we go to ban on these things now, and then all the money comes in, the grant funding comes in and backfills it. And then once we know how much we're left holding is what we take to a bond. So
yeah, that's been historically, that's what we've done.
Right.
And that's that's a good approach. And then additionally, when we're looking to take to a bond, it probably would be a good idea to look at some of the other costs that we're facing, to go after, whether it's a new ladder truck or something I've heard talk about, some other big dollar values, right? Because if we're going to go take something to a bond, isn't it better to do it all at one swoop? Can what John or Jeff speak to that? Isn't it better to kind of?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yes, when you go to a bond, we have all those fixed costs, so you can add other projects without increasing those fixed costs. So it does make sense to try to group up a number of projects and borrow them all at once.
And
that's typically what
the
we've done in
city
the
has
past.
Yes. Yes, that's just what the city has done in the past, and certainly those costs are fixed.
The mayor and I talked about that ironically this morning, and so what we need to do is get with Bob and maybe a member of our fleet maintenance committee to make sure that we look at a new street sweeper and a couple of items to comprise a list that might total $1 million and roll that into that bond that you're describing.
Yeah, Fred, we can discuss that Friday at the fleet management meeting, just to get a final list. I know we've been kicking around a lot of ideas, the ladder truck, and then Bob had a list of trucks. And I think, for the sake of the council, I think we should give them a list of what we're looking at, and then they'll have a better idea of exactly the cost.
Sure.
So when we go to bond, we'll all be on the same page.
Correct.
So I think that would be a great idea.
Okay.
Just one correction, if I may. It would be just a fire truck, a pumper, not the ladder truck. So I don't want the public to think we're buying another ladder truck.
Thanks, Bill. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So.
And if I could just add, to the extent that any additional projects, acquisition projects, want to be included in the upcoming financings, you would need a bond resolution similar to the ones that you would be looking at on on February 9th. So we can certainly put those together. We can consolidate those together to the extent that they're like projects. Pumper truck and a street sweeper would be two separate resolutions, but same general theme.
Good.
Okay.
Good deal.
Any other questions from anybody on the council?
Yeah, Linda, you were talking about walkable phase 3 at 2,049,000. What is the cost of the city? I mean, there's probably grants coming in for that. Do we know the cost of the city of that $2 million project?
165,000.
That's the city's cost, right?
Correct.
Could you
Okay.
repeat that, Bob?
165,000.
Thank you.
And neither of those projects have been bid yet. I mean, we're anticipating probably bid alternates for each project, you know, to stay under our budget, of course.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, how about we vote to move this forward with the idea that we're going to get the information and also from fleet management, the list of vehicles that we're looking at purchasing. So I'll make a motion. Does somebody want a second?
I think we just need.
I'll second.
What do we motion? There's
Okay,
no-
that's okay. Okay, everybody in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Seeing that, committee reports, I don't believe there are any.
Nope.
And I'll make a motion to adjourn. Can I have a second?
Second.
Now, who is that?
Me. John Crawford, Alderman John Crawford.
Gotcha. Okay, all in favor?
The Honorable Dr. Reverend John Crawford.
Okay. Now
That means we can call you
move on
Kevin.
to- Now we'll move on to strategic planning. Thank you, Jeff and John.
Thank you, Jeff and John.
Thank you. It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure seeing you all. Have a good evening.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will call to order the, where's my paper here? I call to order strategic planning for Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. Let the record show that all aldermen are present with the exception of Alderman Doherty. So first off, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous committee meeting. Could I get a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Witt. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unfinished business. We have none, but on to new referrals for consideration. So we've got a couple different things going on. Bill, did you want to start off with anything, or are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm not, remember, we do not have a contract on internet providers. Our contract is for TV services with Spectrum.
Okay. All right, very good. So I believe, was this Jason?
Yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to touch on too. I seen some flyers show up in my mail. I've seen the trucks around the East End neighborhoods from this, looks like there's a new internet provider called Impact coming into the area. You know, and I'd heard about contracts involving Spectrum before, usually when it come from the state. I think a couple of years ago, it was about their issues with their service. And I was curious if anybody knows and could explain what that is, how it works. I mean, even if, you know, if it's only related to cable, just kind of give us an idea of why there is a contract, what that involves when it comes to these providers. And then if there's anything maybe we should know about this new company coming in, or if anybody does know anything about it.
Well,
Bill?
Well, for years, the city has had a contract with the different providers of the cable, and I believe it's because they run their wires on the poles throughout the city, and it's not a non-compete from my knowledge, but it's what we have with them, and it says they will do X number of things, for providing services to our city residents here. I don't believe we have a say in pricing. That's with the Public Service Commission, I believe it is, has a say in what the pricing is. But they guarantee us the different services throughout the city. And it's getting so complicated now. There's many new providers that are popping up. But I know when several of the aldermen questioned Mike Meyerhofer on the services of the internet services, that he reminded everybody that we only have a contract with him for the cable service throughout the city. We could provide everybody with that contract that we have with them, and the language that's in there. I know I'm babbling a little bit, but I don't have the particulars. I wasn't sure what we were discussing here tonight. It said internet providers, so I didn't come prepared with the cable or with the cable contract.
No, that's okay, Bill. I just wanted to get the conversation going because I feel a little out of loop understanding why those contracts exist, and that I would like to see a copy just so I can learn what that's all about. And we can bring it up again if we need to. I mean, maybe there's a need to get internet involved in this contract too. I'm not sure, but I think it'll push me in the right direction if I can see what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can. There's different regulations on that. We'll have to check on that, but it's good to have this conversation.
Well, additionally, just from my perspective, what I've seen our Spectrum internet bill continue to increase. I think it increased twice, in fact, in the last 12 months. We might have brought it up before, Jason, but and I'm sure it would take a large investment, but I've seen some smaller municipalities, maybe a little bit bigger than ours though, roll out their own municipal internet service to constituents. And I know that's something that I've kind of bounced off of Bob's brain before. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's a go-to, but maybe it's something that we look into.
I mean, I think it's at least something we have to question and know what it takes to do it, right? So that you know when you should do it, if you should.
Agreed. Although I felt, positive, I guess, or I was pleased to see some competition coming into the area, because currently there's a monopoly over high-speed internet in our area. I don't know what impact is like. Perhaps, and I don't know if this would be, I don't know, I guess I'd have to talk to Bill, and I would have to talk to our city attorney, whether or not to invite them in as a new internet provider in our city, whether that would be, I guess, feasible or smart to do, to bring them to present to the council what their services are. But I would be open to learning more, certainly.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I think one of the questions, I'm sorry, Jason, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say, if anybody hears anything new or what's going on, I imagine the flyers that came around in the mail, they didn't say much, just that it was coming soon. And I bet that was so that when people saw these trucks coming around the neighborhoods, they weren't calling and asking and complaining or whatever.
Yeah. One of the questions we have to get answered is, can we regulate the internet provider in the city like the cable? So we have to find out. But these are these are questions that we'll have to talk to the city attorney about and discuss it. But we'll get the contract out to everybody that we have with the spectrum on the cable side of it, and then we can go from there.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. So moving along, so let's follow up on that. I think it's really worthwhile to keep bringing that subject up, as internet is going to be critical to any of Olean's revitalization, to business growth. The next issue, and it's not on the agenda, but obviously the news, Olean Times-Herald has run the article. Alderman Doherty has resigned. I guess I was wondering if the mayor had any updates as far as a timeline, what the thoughts are on that vacancy.
Yeah, I sent out a press release today asking anyone who would be interested to fill Ward 4 vacancy to send me a email or letter or contact the office, and I'm giving them until Monday at 5 o'clock. I wanted to be fair about a timeline there, and then what I'll do is put together interviews, and I'll be reaching out to some of you to sit on the interviewing committee with me. So, and then we'll try to get this taken care of within the next couple of weeks.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Bill. As I know, the budget is right around the corner. So, is that something you want to just briefly remind us about as far as what your timeline is there?
Yes, we're working on the budget now. The timeline is I'll have the budget to you by February 15th is the deadline there. Now that's a Monday and it is a holiday. So I will be, let me know if you want electronic copy or if you want the hard copy, and we'll have that available for you. And then you have until, we have, I guess I say that, until April 15th to adopt the budget. So we will be having conversations with you once we turn it over, and we'll take it from there. So that gives us a little bit of a rough timeline of what has to take place. So just remember February 15th to you, and then a tentative budget to you, and then a adopted budget by April 15th.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. So I have just one other item here, and that is obviously it relates, I think, to strategic planning. I didn't have anything necessarily prepared, but I do want to bring up, I don't want to call it the elephant in the room, but the gut punch that I think many of us in Olean felt today. And that's hearing that Siemens Energy would be eliminating more than 500 positions and jobs, closing down much of the manufacturing part of the business here in Olean. And, maybe if the mayor could share any conversations and any insight that he's received, but this is kind of an all hands on deck scenario as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know, what is possible, what is, even feasible for us to do, but damn it, I think we need to try to do something. And
Yes.
Whether it's, so I want to just share my screen here for, the record. We have some high-paid, high-powered individuals that want the hot seat. And I mean, our positions on the Common Council and the mayor of Olean obviously are limited to what we can do over a publicly traded international company. But here are the players that can make it happen. With one of them being the Senate Majority Leader now. And so, as I'm sharing this, I just would like, again, Bill, any thoughts, any insight?
Yes, thanks, John. I received a phone call today from Senator Schumer's office, Jordan Nickerson, advising me of what was happening. This was, as most of you know, that this broke about a little over a week ago. And they said they would have more information by today, and they did. And the information, it's I'm still sick to my stomach over this. This can be very, it's bad news for our area. But I talked to the Schumer's office today. They have had conversations with the upper management, with the CEO of Siemens Energy. I also talked with John Staley from Siemens Energy. He kept his promise to call me today, and he told me that this is a reality, that there'll be 500 manufacturing, approximately 500 manufacturing jobs lost here in Olean. They will be shutting down the manufacturing facilities here. 350 white-collar jobs will remain in the Olean plant here. They will, and he gave me a timeline of about 18 months before they turn the lights off on the manufacturing facility. I also had a conversation with George Borello's office, Tom Reed's office, and I talked to Joe Giglio myself. I talked to Tom Reed myself today. We're all devastated by this, but yes, I say let's keep reaching out. Let's keep reaching out to all of our elected officials, state and federal, and see what can be done here. I'm not sure this is totally a done deal. I think my heart's a little bit telling me that it is, but let's fight. I agree. Let's put up a fight. Let's see what we can. Let's get everybody to call our elected officials to work for us in this instance. So at this time, that's all I have. But all the information that's been is pretty much the same with every one I talked to today. So.
Thanks, Bill. You took the sentiment, you took the words right out of my mouth. I literally am nauseated, and I'm really sick to my stomach. Obviously, I spent 6.5 years of my career there, and when we're, oh man, this definitely has to be Buffalo Bills country, because we just get gut punched all the time, it seems, and I just we take 2 steps forward, and this time around it's 4 steps backwards. And we've got so many good things going on here in Olean and in our revitalization, and this hurts. So you better believe I'll be calling every one of these, as I encourage all of us to. And listen, I see some of the already the people. It's a done deal. There's nothing you can do. Listen, I teach business management. I know how decisions are made. I get it, but it doesn't mean that we have to take it and like it. Okay, and if they're willing to cut deals and give massive tax breaks to companies like Amazon and Solar City and everybody else, then put up or shut up. And so I think our job locally is to be the squeaky wheel and not just accept it, and keep calling our elected officials and let's give them an opportunity to make a deal happen. This is just a really sad day. I'm sorry that I'm getting on a soapbox, but anybody else?
No, it's it's sort of like deja vu. We went through this with Del Tayo, and our state and federal people actually put a package together, but it came down to the facility they were closing was a union facility, and the facility they were moving to was non-union. So that was the bottom line. I feel as bad as everybody else, but I think in their minds it's business. In ours, it's our community. So I think we do what we can do, but in the meantime, I think we need to prepare, because ABX thought that they could get help. Olean Wholesale thought we could save them. It's the market. It's manufacturing. And, every time I drive by there, I always in the last few years, I've always thought, I wonder how much longer they're going to be here. I'm sure the people in Wellsville didn't feel that they would ever leave them or Painted Post. So I just think it's heartbreaking, especially for the people that work there. And we just have to show them that we're willing to roll up our sleeves and work with our state and federal people and see what we can do. But we also have to be realistic. And I think, maybe we need to start looking with alternatives to what could go in there. And there's not much we can say because we're not the ones that are cutting the deals. So I would just encourage, like John said, to talk to our state and federal folks and see, if there's anything they can do.
I have a comment on that too, if you don't mind. John, I like John Crawford, I worked at Dresser Rand for 9 years. I have a lot of friends that are still there, and this is obviously devastating beyond words. I think it's important too that a couple of things that were said tonight. I don't want to think it's important that we don't give a sense of false hope on this situation. I've known John Staley for a number of years, and one thing that I've never doubted while working there was that he wanted Olean to be successful. Absolutely, that he's from around here. He's from Randolph. His kids, all that, like he wanted Olean to be the center of everything. And you know what I mean? If we're at this point here, then I really believe that this is it. Like there's, you know what I mean? If there was any way, he would be the one to have saved it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good point, Paul. I agree, and you're absolutely correct. I mean, listen, this isn't, this is a round table, just like I think we're all trying to process what we've learned today. I was literally just speechless. But like Linda said, then maybe if it's not about trying to save that, it's about petitioning and building our brand up to get something else in there. I mean, I can't imagine they're going to mothball a multi-million-dollar facility. So, what, and I know we're just aldermen, so what is within our power, but I think we need to communicate it and at least keep that conversation going. We have to, at the same time, we just can't give up.
Right.
Well, and the good news is that, there are jobs that are going to be staying behind. But
for how long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I can, I'd like to chime in just so hopefully it gets picked up by whoever reports on what we're discussing. We need new development in jobs here anyway, right? So the way I've always looked at it, if you lose your job, tomorrow can be the best day or the worst day of your life. And it's up to us to decide what kind of day that is. So we need to push the folks that can make the deals with the state, right? That's, if we're going to get industry to come back here ever, they're going to have to provide that incentive for startup. And not only that, we've got a workforce that's probably lacking skills. So we need investment in that in the future as well. So hopefully those conversations become louder. I would say anybody who wants to be a part of it, to make the calls, send the emails, whatever, right? Because the loudest voices get the attention. And ask for that. Ask for the investment in training to build skills and in incentives for manufacturing to come here again, so that it can be better than what we were holding on to.
Well said, Jason. Thank you.
Yep. Great point, Jason.
Also, Bill, if I can just elaborate too, is there any way that we can get I don't know how you want to call it, but a resolution drafted up maybe by Jack Hart, sponsored by all the council members and yourself, saying that we strongly urge our federal state representatives to do whatever they can to try to save Dresser Rand. There's got to be a reason why they decided to close the Olean plant, whether it's the expenses of the taxes in New York State, or whatever their reason is. But to kind of send some sort of a memorializing resolution to these leaders that John's got listed here. And also maybe they get the county. When I was a county legislature, we used to do the same thing, having the entire Cattaraugus County legislature sponsor a resolution and mail to our representatives. So just to let them know that we're asking and pleading for help. We got 18 months that they say they're not going to close for. So maybe in that 18 months, they can work out a deal and keep the plant going.
I'm in favor of at least, you know, of drafting a resolution to each and every one of these individuals to say, you got to step up to the plate and offer some sort of solution. I can't just I don't think we can accept just, you know, 500 plus jobs go bye and there's no follow through, there's no recourse. This is happening under their watch, and you know, and that's what they get the big bucks for. So whether it's like Jason said to put policies or put money funding together for retraining and redeveloping our industry around here or whatever. I mean, I don't think the answer is to do nothing and just say, well, that's all we can do.
Yep. I would also add the governor to that list of people to send a resolution to. As county legislators, we always added the governor in there because ultimately he has the louder voice.
He's on John's list, and he's
on. Oh, he is on your list? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, I meant for the resolution, not just a call.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right. Anything else?
We'll need to go into executive session to discuss a litigation.
Okay. All right. I will make a motion to enter executive session to discuss a litigation. Could I get a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Anastasia. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
All right. We are in executive session.
Okay, we need to have Fred. You'll have to get off. Who else? Is Carrie off? I believe. Okay, everybody's off. Okay, I'm going to stop the YouTube.